Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I will be attempting to make WoW more fun. And previously I did basically removing transmog restrictions, making it more open and free, and to repurpose legendaries for leveling purposes, so that way they're not just worthless things in our bank. In this one, I'm going to be talking about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and that is basically farming, making farming old content or random content more fun than it might currently be for someone who does farm, and possibly inspire people who don't farm to go farm something. And this also helps increase items on the auction house, people getting into transmog. It has side benefits as well. But what I'm going to focus on for now is just the farming aspect of it. So we know Blizzard can easily add new things to old loot tables, and I use the word easily lightly, I guess, myself, because I don't technically know how hard it is. But we saw them add the weapon illusions during Warlords to a lot of old content, to where you could get an illusion for something like from Karzhan. You could get an illusion for something, or from just name the thing, like old content. You could get a weapon illusion for transmog. So what I'm suggesting is adding like a rare BOE, zero point 0.01 whatever percent, whatever the low percent drop is. I think the low percent is like 0.01 or something like that. Add these items to old dungeons, old raids, etc., and get people in there trying to farm them and get them. So what do we see now? We see people farming Mimron's Head. We see people farming Ashes of Valar. Now, of course, a ton of people have them, but a ton of people like me still don't have either of those, even though they do try to get them. So we see when the reward is worth it, people will go do it and try to get these things. Now, I do have some issues with just how bad the drop chance is on those, but you can negotiate that up to like 0.1% or 0.5% or something like that. But that's not really the huge issue here. So what I'm suggesting is we have items. This isn't from a dungeon or raid, but like the chromatic sword that came back when the leveling changes happened. So that drops in Stranglethorn off of a random basilisk or crocolisk. I think it's a basilisk. It drops off of a rare spawn there, and it's a super rare sword, one of a kind, and it's worth a lot of gold. So a ton of people were farming it at first, and it really tapered off over time, especially after some people were getting them, and then other people just kind of gave up. So you don't see as many people there anymore. But things like that are really cool. So let's add stuff like that to old stuff, especially old trademark things. So, for example, like the Dead Mines. We have some of the Defias stuff kind of gone from the Dead Mines. We've seen that with the inclusion of Outlaw Rogues, there was a transmog set for them hidden in the Dead Mines, which was pretty cool in its own right. But so maybe some sort of Dead Mines or Defias flavored item that's super rare BOE. You can equip it if you want to, or you can sell it on the auction house. That would be one example. I don't know. That's kind of more of an alliance specific one, but I don't know about a horde specific one. But I guess like Maradon is typically a horde flavored instance, and or Ragefire Chasm, I guess. Although that seems even, whatever instances they choose, I don't really care. As long as they're accessible by everybody, I guess, would be my only caveat. And then like old raids that are really cool that people really like. So people run Kara all the time already, so you probably wouldn't want to do like old Kara, because people love running old Kara for some reason. It's just really easy to farm probably. So maybe you would do something like Gruul's Lair or something. Drops a toy that turns you into Gruul or something like that, like a Gruul lookalike, and not quite as big as him, of course. Things like that, and add these items into raids, old dungeons, especially ones that are more very very identifiable with the game. So it'll be a lot of classic stuff, a lot of BC stuff, a lot of Wrath stuff even, and then you throw some Kata stuff in, some Panda stuff in as well, and then maybe stop at that point for now, and then later on if the game continues to go on, you'd add more stuff to more recent expansions after that. So I think this would be a great idea. I'll kind of get into some of the side points really quickly on this. Basically, what I would see happening is, especially if there was like a mount, so or maybe there's like a Defias mount or something you could get from the Dead Mines, as that's one of the really classic dungeons. Um, but you'd see people farming these things over and over again. People would be getting these cool transmog items that they might not normally even know exist. Frankly, normally a lot of people's transmogs are heavily weighted on like the raid content that they've done, as raiders, not as like going back and farming things or whatever. So they'd be like, "Wow, this looks pretty cool. I'm gonna get the gloves that match that." So then they have. Let's say they already had the shoulders, they put their shoulders in the auction house, they buy someone else's gloves. This really opens up that market. Sorry about that. I think that's a great thing because, well, a little bit selfishly because, I sell a lot of that stuff on the auction house myself. But also just it stimulates the economy. It gets more people playing the game for ancillary reasons, which is important. You're not going to spend like 20 hours a week farming stuff. Probably some people might, but it's a reason to play other than logging into your raid or logging in to do whatever daily thing you want to do. So this is just, again, I'm just spitballing things basically to make the game more fun, and I think adding more BOE cool items to the game just makes it more fun. So we got mounts, toys, and transmogs basically. The transmogs goes with my one about transmogs. These could be really cool niche items as well, that are kind of silly even. So that could kind of tag along with that one. You could have, extremely rare mounts, much like Ashes of Lar. Why doesn't every raid have a really rare mount? Or at least every, like, major raid have a really rare mount? That's kind of how it is now off the last boss of all the major raids, like Jaina's mount, for example. I mean, heck, BOD has two really cool mounts in it, so why not go back, add some really rare mounts that drop, make them BOE even to sell them, items, toys, all that stuff. Let's do that. That'd make the game a lot more fun, at least for me, and I think a large segment of the community. Some people just don't care to farm stuff and never will, but you know what, if you put the right item in the game, they just might do it anyway. So please subscribe to the channel if any of the videos help you, interest you, or anything like that. It helps me out a lot. And everybody have a good one.